Welcome back everyone to InspireSide. Our guest today is a former American swimmer who has won 5 Olympic gold medals for Team USA and shattered 6 world records along the way. She's the first mom in history to win a gold medal for USA Swimming and the first woman to swim under 56 seconds in the individual 100-meter butterfly. You've probably seen her multiple times on the podium, whether it was Rio, London, or the Athens Olympics. Here is the one and only Vollmer.
National champion.
She's Joyce down there, but right now the race is going to come right there in the middle of the pool. There comes Vollmer, just what I said. She's just going to look so good that last 10 or 15 meters.
Dana Vollmer pushing for home. Coughlin to her left. Vollmer and then Coughlin.
Hi Dana, how are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being on the show. I mean, it's such an honor to have this opportunity to learn from you. Watching you on TV and then getting to speak with you is honestly a dream come true.
Thanks. You know that we are all such golden bears, and I think that, you know, as soon as you said you were at Cal, it was like, oh yes, of course, like I will support another golden bear.
So 3 Olympic Games, 7 Olympic medals, 5 of which were gold, and 6 world records. Wow, am I right?
I think so.
That's really incredible. Do you happen to have any of them nearby?
I do. I brought one from each Olympics.
Really? Could I take a look?
Yeah, so here is my first one. So I was 16 years old at the Athens Olympics.
Wow.
So the fronts of the medals all look the same, and then each country gets to design the back and their ribbon.
Wow.
This one was fun and colorful. And so then 8 years after I won the Athens medal was when I broke the world record in the 100 butterfly.
Wow.
So here's London's. They started engraving, I don't know, it's probably might not show through on the camera, a little bit. So this one, it says aquatic swimming, women's 4x100 medley relay was this medal. And you can see the size difference of them. They are getting very large and heavy, but Athens, this is actually the original size of the first medals given at the Athens Olympics. So pretty cool with that. And then 4 years later, this is Rio's gold medal, and the first gold medal won by a mom in the sport of swimming. So
That is amazing. If I had one of those, I would wear that 24/7.
But I mean, to have 7, I mean, I feel so fortunate. With every Olympian that I've talked to, it's not the medal. It's not the actual winning. It's so much more than that. When you're standing up there and you're thinking about your hometown and your friends and family and, you know, athletes everywhere that are looking up to you and how you accomplished what you accomplished. And that's what makes athletes emotional on the podium.
So before becoming a household name, how did your journey really start? I know you started swimming at a really young age. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you got into swimming and when you realized that you wanted to take it seriously?
Yeah, so I actually don't remember learning how to swim. So my mom was a swim coach, and she had me on the pool deck, I mean, before I could even walk. And so I've always been around the sport. And I have vague memories of laying on a kickboard and kind of starting to learn butterfly. And I was actually in my first race when I was 4 years old. I kind of like have flashes of, kind of splashing and grabbing a lane line. And at 11, we decided that we would make the switch to year-round USA swimming. And my family talked about it a lot, and it was a 45-minute drive to the closest team. So we would wake up in the mornings, drive 45 minutes to practice, drive back, go to school, drive back in the afternoons, and learn to do homework on the road. And it was very quick for me in that when I was 12, I qualified for the 2000 Olympic trials.
Wow.
I was the youngest person to go. And honestly, I was so just feisty that I was 12 and I was gonna make the Olympic team. And I was so mad that I got 49th out of 101 athletes. And my dad actually had to keep reminding me of all the grown-ups that had just been beat by a 12-year-old. And it was actually at those trials that I watched. Her name was Gabrielle Rose, and it was the 200-meter IM. And she was, I think she was only 16 years old, but she, was kind of a surprise to make the finals. And then she ended up getting second. And so she qualified for the Olympic team, and I watched her, I literally have goosebumps right now that I watched her touch the wall. Her face lit up. She jumped out of the pool, ran around the pool deck to her coach, flew into her coach's arms, and he spun her around. And that was when I looked at my coach. I was like, that is what I want.
So when you were getting ready to compete at a huge competition like the Olympics, what was going through your head? Since millions of people are kind of rooting for you, how did you handle that pre-meet nervousness and not go kind of crazy?
Right. That's a skill. It's one of those that I've seen both sides. In 2004, I was so young that it just kind of felt like everything was falling into place. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought I was going to puke before the relay where we won gold. And we really talked about letting the race kind of unfold naturally and, not to push too hard at the beginning because you're already excited, you're nervous. And that kind of comes out in that first 50 of your race. And, but then to go into 2008, I mean, I missed the Olympic team, and I fully put that on the side of mental health and nerves and anxiety. And instead of being excited for the chance to make the Olympic team, I was freaking out on what would happen if I didn't. Who would be disappointed? Who would I let down? Letting down my coach and my parents' investment in me and everything that it meant for me to qualify for those Olympics. And that is not a state where you perform well. And I actually am thankful now that I missed that team because it allowed me to make a lot of necessary changes to reevaluate my love for the sport. I had lost sight of that peace and tranquility feeling that I found in the water. And it was all focused on training and the pressure and gotta hit certain times. And I had to train myself not to focus on the thoughts that come up, because they do still come up about, oh my gosh, there's so many people watching me right now. What happens if I slip? What happens? Your mind can just spiral into all these what ifs.
I mean, there was definitely some good that came out of not qualifying in 2008. You came back stronger than ever and broke the world record, which is something to be really, really proud of.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe that it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't missed the Olympic team in 2008.
What were some of the biggest setbacks or challenges that you've had to face? I was really shocked to learn that you had to undergo heart surgery at a really young age. And even after becoming a mom right before Rio, you kept training and earned a spot on the podium. So could you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, it's one of those I've in retiring, I feel like I've gotten to analyze a lot more of my career and feeling that I was actually trapped in now what I call my injury cycle, and that was tied a lot with pressures and anxiety. And so I would find that love of the sport and my connection with the water and joy in movement. And then my mind would start to focus on pressures and perfection and having to do every element right and judgments if I'm not. And all of a sudden, I think physically I embodied that and I would end up injured. I had tendonitis in my left shoulder. I herniated a disc in my low back. I mentioned tearing my ACL playing basketball. And so that voice inside my head quieted and I got to focus on getting stronger in a new way and healthier movements and healing a particular injury. And then I would kind of see that cycle start to repeat itself. I would heal. And then all of a sudden my mind wasn't focused on the injury and I would start focusing again on perfection and other people's opinions. And then something would get injured. And, but I think even after winning the gold medal in 2012 and then trying to come back in 2013, it was a whole new level of pressure. Now I was the world record holder and trying to live up to being the best in the world all the time. And so again, I was such a perfectionist and my worst critic and so incredibly harsh on myself. And I injured my shoulder. And then I decided, okay, like I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this sport. And we decided to have our first child and life was great. And then I think all that pressure was removed and I got to be a mom and nobody expected me to be able to come back. And so each day was like, I got to figure out a new way to be a mom and be an athlete. And everybody's expectations were super low. Things all fell into place. And I was able to head to Rio to win the first gold medal as a mom.
So the next question, actually, a lot of my friends wanted to know this. They wanted to know, leading up to the Olympics, what does your practice schedule mainly look like? And how are you able to keep a perfect balance between a normal lifestyle and training in the pool?
We get asked that quite a bit, because training kind of consumes your life. And it is one of those that, my close friends were swimmers. I did have non-swimming friends that the way that we stayed close, I felt fully supported in the fact that I had to train. I took naps. I went to bed early and we made time to kind of carve out, going for coffee or something. But our training schedule leading up to 2012, it was, 2 hours of training in the morning and then 3.5 hours in the afternoon. And we did that Monday, Tuesday at Cal. Terry McKeever believed in having Wednesdays we had completely off, which was really nice. That was actually when we scheduled labs or homework sessions. And then the same, 2 practices on Thursday, on Friday, and then 1 longer 2.5 hour practice on Saturdays. And that wasn't all pool time. We did a lot of yoga. We did ballet one season. We did hip hop dance, spin classes. Like you can only go back and forth in the pool so much.
So outside of the pool, what is Dana Vollmer really like? Most of us see that aggressive and determined side of you while watching you compete through our screens. But what are some other things you really love to do?
Crafts. I've slowly gotten my wood shop in my garage, and I just built a side table for my youngest for his room. I'm working on a desk for my 5-year-old. My husband put in an order for a bookcase, and it's something that, that cycle of perfectionism that even in other elements of my life, at first I'm like, I don't know, I'm not the best woodworker. But to know that I love it. Like when I am stressed and overwhelmed, like I wanna make something.
So after retirement, what else have you been up to? I know you've been involved in public speaking a lot. Since so many people look up to you, how have you kind of been using your platform to inspire others?
Yeah. So I had done a lot of public speaking leading up to being retired. I talked a lot for the American Heart Association and heart health awareness. And, I had heart surgery when I was 14. I had an extra electrical pathway in my heart that they went in through my femoral artery and cauterized it. And some other concerns with my heart that luckily I don't have to worry about. And so to be at so many of their fundraiser events where it was just such a loving audience. And I learned to really enjoy being up there and helping inspire and motivate other people through my own journey. And that's what I've been so excited about now. My new keynote is called Unraveling Superwoman. And it's about feeling that I had to put on this superwoman suit, that's what people wanted, that's what they expected, and that it took the injuries and the failures to kind of start to unravel that suit and really build who I am and that I'm enough.
Once again, thank you so much, Dana. You're truly an inspiration to so many of us and taught us to dream big. Still feels kind of unreal that I got to have this wonderful conversation with you. It'll take some time for it to sink in. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for doing this and wanting to motivate people through your channel.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Right. Bye. Go Bears.
Go Bears.